You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
Hey, Power This is your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, I'm chatting with a modern legend, baby. He is an Emmy Award nominated writer, comedian. He's a comic book nerd that has touched characters, iconic ones like Howard the Duck, Loki, Spider-Man, and more. He was once considered El's most eligible bachelor. Everybody too late. I mean, he now got the ball and chain on, you know what I mean? Let him explain it. He also gave Black Santa a husband. What started as a joke became something really crazy. Let me introduce this man, this myth, this legend, the one, the only Daniel Kibblesmith, baby, was popping.
With that intro, I had to come in high energy. If you know me, I don't do high energy.
Hey, oh man, wait, that's it. But don't you worry, this Puerto Rican from New York, it is coffee in the living. Don't you worry, I got you.
All right, let me catch up with you.
There you go. That coffee, my coffee, that shit is like
that's gonna do it.
From Bustelo cappuccino. Don't you worry, I got you.
It's gonna get me there. I'm good. Thanks so much for having me. Thank you for that intro. I haven't thought about the L's eligible bachelor thing in years.
I saw that shit. I say, what? Look at Big Home movies back in the day, baby.
Yeah, that was because my wife. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm eligible. I'm a very eligible person, but that was a bit of a joke because my wife was friends. My girlfriend at the time was friends with the editor, and she said, "I'm going to get you onto the eligible bachelors list." I was like, "I'm not an eligible bachelor. We're dating right now. Now we're married." But yeah, if you go look at, if you Google me, one of the things that comes up is that I was briefly one of Elle magazine's most eligible bachelors in New York when I lived there.
Yeah, that's the story going, man. So from pimp hood to comic hood, man. Let's get into that whole journey, baby. Let's go. Listen, I mean, Daniel has given us nerds the chance. Like, listen, if my man was there, so could we. I could see a 50 plus eligible bachelors, maybe.
Yeah, it's all about categories. And they've got that whole TV show now. They've got the Golden Bachelor as well. Yes, you can be 60, 70. Yeah.
I'm over silver, Let's go. Listen, let's talk about it. Like, OG, where you from? And most important question ever, Daniel. What was the first thing in fandom overall that you actually fell in love with first?
In all of fandom? That's a great question, because people always ask me about like my comic book origin story, but I don't think anybody's ever asked me just like in all of fandom.
Yeah, that was the first thing that got you attracted to pop culture. I'm always curious about.
It's a really good question. So I'm from Oak Park, Illinois. It's a suburb of Chicago. I lived there for a lot of my life, most of my adult life, until more recently. And the first thing that got me into fandom. The first thing I can really remember being obsessed with was like the Muppets and like Muppet Babies, like being like 3 years old. And my mom, when I was a toddler, my mom slept with the TV on. So I would get up at like 5 a.m. and hear the Muppet music, because the broadcast, if you're old, there used to be like a broadcast day, right? That the broadcast day would start and stop with the American flag waving in the background. So the broadcast day would start, and in Chicago, the syndicated Muppet Show episodes would come on at like 5 a.m, maybe 5:30 in the morning, and I would hear the Muppet music. I would sneak out of my room and go watch TV in my parents' room while they were still sleeping. Yeah. So then the Muppet Babies came out, and I used to tape Muppet Babies on VHS. It's a very old conversation.
Do you have trouble getting up in the morning?
No, well, now I have a 3-year-old, so somebody else gets me up in the morning.
I'm about to say, if you need an alarm, just play that particular song, and you'll automatically get up because you're pre-programmed to wake up for it.
Exactly. And she wants to watch TV.
Now I know where to put on my phone when I see you at a convention one day, and I see you a little tired. I'm just gonna throw on that theme song.
Yeah, and that'll I'm wired for it.
Pump you up like more than coffee, I think.
It's time to meet them up. It's gonna
it's dancing. Like, yo, what's going on? I don't know.
It's gonna suck it right out of me.
All right. So in that geekdom of yours growing up back in your hood, I mean, were you kind of a lone wolf of a geek, or did you have, a tribe, if you will?
No, I found people really fast because
Okay.
my dad was a comic book guy. The way that I got into comic books was he grew up reading mostly Marvel, a lot of like 60s Marvel, and he had a lot of that stuff around. And then 80s and 90s comic books start coming back into the mainstream like so hard, So
Right.
on the way home, on the way home from work, he's picking up like John Byrne, like Man of Steel, like stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
kind of like big 80s like event stuff. And then when, in the 90s, like he bought all the Death of Superman covers and
So Superman was his John in the 90s.
yeah, he was primarily, I mean, he was Marvel growing up and then he got really into like the what at the time like the modern
Yeah.
Superman stuff. And I was a little boy and I loved Superman. I watched like the Ruby Spears Superman cartoon.
Oof, yeah, bro.
Dress up for Superman for Halloween. So it was always in the house. And then my just like a lot of kids, I was at like the lunch table with all of like the black t-shirts and talking about like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering and Marvel Overpower and all of that stuff. So like 90s,
Right.
a great time to be a geek kid for sure. Yeah.
It was even I had a tribe back more in the 90s than the 80s, no doubt. But we had that tribe, and it was the cards, it was the comics, it was everything, and it was wonderful. A great time to be a geek. The overabundance of comics and comic shops. So a lot of dollar boxes because they're like, I have to get rid of this shit because of the diamond numbers.
That's true. And you could also like go places too. There were so many more physical spaces
Heck yeah.
for people to bond over their hobbies. And that's something that I really miss and something that I really like evangelize for is to kind of get back face to face with like Fortnite is fun and everything, but like I feel really lucky.
Fortnite in person via paintball,
Yeah, sure. You can do that.
Hopefully you'll be fast enough to build something, because if I have semi-auto, your ass is in a lot of trouble right now. You know what I mean? But all right, so here you are. You say you had this wonderful tribe, I guess, growing up. So when did your creative spark kind of start? Was it as a young man, or did something happen later in life where you say, I want to do something?
I think I always knew that I wanted to make stuff, movies, TV, comics. I always knew that I wanted to make stuff. When I was really little, I mean, speaking of the Muppets, I watched the Muppet movie, and that's like a really meta movie.
Did you cry during the accident scene?
Did I cry?
Be honest.
I mean, I was a little kid, so I probably did cry. Yeah.
My daughter, I'm sorry, I'm shutting you out, Ali Mega, right now. That's a cool name,
That's really cute.
Let me tell you, my wife and I decided to put, like, yo, hey, you want to watch Muppets? She goes, yeah, I want to watch Muppets.
Grew up with this.
About 4 or 5 at the time. So we put the movie in her room, like, okay, enjoy the movie.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be over here if you need us for anything, right? So we watching our own horror movie and smoking a blunt, to be honest, right?
Right, grown up time.
All of a fucking sudden, this kid posts out of the room in tears. Kermit! I'm like, what happened? Kermit! I'm like, what happened? Kermit died. He got hit by a car. I said, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I did not know.
Well, you probably didn't even remember that happens in the movie. You haven't seen it in like 35 years.
Listen, but it didn't affect me like that. Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ,
she was sensitive. I was sensitive. I think I probably did. I probably would have.
Remember what I just told you? We were also smoking a blunt.
Right, so you're not in a great
position.
position.
Moment to come at me, and I'm start laughing. This is the wrong time to laugh, right. But I'm dying like, oh my effing God. All I hear is Kermit is dead, and I start dying like, oh my God. Yo, bro.
That's a beautiful moment.
Yeah. I wonder if she remembers that. I gotta ask her. I'm embarrassed, baby. Yeah, but all right. So that was your trauma. So obviously, you didn't get traumatized, or maybe you did.
No, I mean, not. If I did, it was like the right amount to become a creative. All creative.
Your parents were actually maybe watching with you and comforting you.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, they definitely weren't smoking on blunts. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe they were.
Who knows? What is that? What is that funny smell? It's a nasty cigarette. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's grown-ups. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
All right, so you got creative. All right, talk about the creative steps, man.
So, but the Muppet movie is a movie about making movies. It's a behind-the-scenes movie, and that's something Jim Henson was always really good at. Was he liked to show people craft. You know, he liked to show like how much work went into this. So I think it woke up a lot of kids like me to like, this isn't just something that like, you know, exists magically. This is something that people like work hard and make. So I always wanted to make movies or TV or something. And, you know, when I was little, I would draw and I put it on the TV because TV, you know, this is another old guy thing. TV used to have static, like static thing. So you could draw a picture and put it on the TV and it would just stick there. So I used to do that. So I always knew, I always knew I wanted to make stuff. And I loved comics and movies and really just like my whole life, like going to school, making stuff with friends. It was always like, I'm just going to try everything because you don't know what's going to work.
You say you did stuff with friends in school. Now, I know as a kid, my classmates and I used to do a comic book making fun of other classmates and and they would spread it around the class. Some of them wanted to beat the crap out of us. Some of them would just laugh at it. What did you do?
This happened to me. This exact thing happened to me too. Yeah. When I was in 5th grade, I drew pictures of like my bullies getting like torn apart by chainsaws and stuff. And yeah, the teacher found it and it was like a poll. Yeah, I used to get in trouble constantly for stuff like that. Yeah. And then, you know, but what happens is you end up making comedy, you know, like you end up going into turning it into something you can do professionally and kind of like a semi-controlled space.
And yes, you did. I mean, all right, so you got creative. Talk about before we get into like crazy shit that like you landed on over here. Like, what was the first step you took when you said, okay, I want to take a step to be professional? Like, and what era was this and how easy was it? I mean, was this early internet, middle internet?
Yeah, I mean, I'm early 40s, so it would have been like, I definitely have a lot of vivid memories of trying to do my thing like pre and post internet. Like when I was like 10, maybe 10 or 11, I would draw my own comics and then ask my dad to photocopy them at work so that I could like sell them, you know, to the kids at school for like 50 cents.
Baby, there we go, man. That's
right out of
you see my Illinois hustler, Chi-Town, baby.
Yeah, exactly. We're all entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, so I always had like a sense of like wanting to do it like right, you know, like wanting to do it like officially. But then I'd say college for sure. I went to Columbia College, also in Chicago. And they have a really good like film and TV. My high school also had a TV station. We had a public access news show. Yeah,
wait, you guys have public access, really?
At my high school, I did. Yeah, my high school.
I wish
it was so much fun.
Vocational business high school, so none of that. My outset was straightforward. Either you're a lawyer, business owner, secretary, or accountant, or type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were going to make your parents proud. You were not going to fuck around on television.
Listen, computer science got a fucking silver medal. You know, I should have gotten gold because the person that won, I actually helped the whole year. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Really? You set them up to beat you?
Isn't that crazy? So that's how good of a teacher I am.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you should feel good about it.
I do, but at the same time, like that. But that was actually I taught this more.
Yeah. That's kind of okay, but if you look at it a certain way, that means you won silver and gold. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. What's I want to see Almega, you know, Alex Perez, you know, legal name, folks.
Sure. Anyway. Written down on the certificate.
Yeah, man, come on, man. I said you're getting your name everywhere. Like I said, Emmys, and you've been on some shows, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? I'll be in the stripper pole today, teasing my man's business over here. Don't you worry about it. Thank God I'm wearing pants today. It's cold outside. Anyway, all right. So talk about getting into the steps.
Sure. Let's see. So high school, there was a TV station at my high school, so I worked on that. I learned how to collaborate with people. I went to college locally. So a lot of it was just tried everything. You know, directing, writing, editing. Writing ended up being the thing that I liked the most.
What was it about the writing that
I think just generating the ideas, being in control of like the dialogue, you know, and the plots and stuff. Like I think I'm better, you know, obviously I write comic books, so I'm a very visual thinker and a very visual writer, but I think ultimately I figured out at some point that if I was going to succeed at something, I might want to start focusing up a little bit. and writing was the thing that I thought I was the best at of all of my options, and the thing that I enjoyed the most. So yeah, I mean, in Chicago, I had like friends doing stand up and things like that. I tried stand up, sketch.
I was a stand up man. I'm a stand up fan, bro. And bravo to you motherfuckers that are bold enough to go on stage and put yourself out there. Because I love comedy, but I also listen. As much as I love it, I don't have the courage to you're putting a lot of yourself out there. I talk about that experience. Kid.
It's hard. I mean, that's how I knew that I wanted to stop. That's how I knew that. Because I've got friends. No. I always say I have a friend. I have a comic friend who went up 400 times in 1 year.
What?
Yeah, he made a point. He was like, I'm going to see how much I can do, and he went up 400 times in 1 year. Yeah. And it's like that's a stand-up comic. That's somebody who like knows in their heart that they want to be doing this. So for me, it was like a hobby. It was a way to hang out with friends. But everything came back to like for me. Everything always came back to writing. I just kind of wanted to be like on the computer or in my notebook or just like even like. In
what is the Kibblesmith preferred tool? Is it the notebook or is it the pen and pad? Is it the tablet? What's the preferred tool?
Oh, it's a process. It's a stage. Because like for me, it's like I'll be like taking a walk or driving or exercising or something, and I'll get the idea. The idea goes on my phone. The phone idea goes into a notebook, and that's where like the first outline gets written. That outline goes into like a text edit document on the computer, and like super like bare bones text edit document, and then the text edit document goes into a Google Doc, and that's when I start like the scripting process, the scripting formatting. Yeah, and if it's for television or if it's like a movie screenplay I'm working on, then that goes into final draft. So it's not one. It's not one thing. It's a pipeline. But I'd say like basically it goes like phone, notebook, computer.
Yeah, basically. So no excuse for you to not get work done. This is why I ask these questions. I love it. You see, my man, he uses all the available tools and gets to the final format. I love it. So
yeah, well, you never know when you're going to get the thing that And I don't want to carry around a notebook like all of the time. I try to have a notebook with me.
Yeah, you're gonna be looking like a rapper. Is it Kibblesmith the rapper? The wordsmith was popping.
That's one thing I never tried. I did stand up and improv. I've never tried rapping.
Well, you got to try, You got to DK the rapper.
There's no way. I truly think. I mean, there's a lot of like good like nerd rap out there, as everybody knows. But like, I don't think it's for me.
Oh, man, one day, just Kibblesmith. That shit is a hip hop name right there.
It is kind of low key a hip hop name.
It is, bro.
It's like something name.
Kibblesmith the wordsmith. Look at that. There we go.
Oh man.
Hey,
okay. All right, now we're started. Now we're in trouble.
Give me one skit. Kibblesmith the wordsmith. Give me one skit. All right. All right. Bet.
Wait, hip hop skit on the spot?
Yeah, no, on the spot. We're gonna think about this though.
Okay, we'll come back.
Platform and do this. We gotta think about this. I want to see this though. Hopefully, I'll do it for a prop.
This time next year, I'll have a fully fledged hip hop career.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, he's gonna be the new Kanye with minus the bad stuff.
Yeah, somebody needs to be because he's insane.
Yeah, again, but it's just the beats. God damn, Kanye, why you got production got to be so fucking good.
He's part of a long legacy of artists who are really good at their jobs, but also like probably terrible people.
It's wild, isn't it? I mean, again, you got the things you got to deal with.
Yeah, man.
But, we're not dealing with terrible things over here. We're dealing with that Kibblesmith. My man,
keeping it positive. We're keeping it positive.
Talk about the first opportunities, because I've heard you landed on a big old TV show and even got like, again, here you are. I think writing was possibly my best lane, and all of a sudden you can't fucking Emmy Award nominated, son. Jesus Christ, what?
First of all, that's a frighteningly good impression of me. That is like spot on. Yeah, well, I'd say the first real like comedy opportunity, because I wrote for, I had an office job, but it was a writing office job. I worked for the website Groupon, so I got to write. Okay. Yeah, you remember Groupon? You'd buy like if enough people bought
ship off of there, save some money.
You used it to do what?
A camping trip.
Oh, a camping trip. I thought you said a championship. I thought you said like you won something.
Oh my God. MMA through Groupon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I used to write for the website Groupon in Chicago, and then the Onion moved to Chicago, and Groupon hired a lot of local comedy people. Groupon employed a lot of people from like Second City and a lot of stand-up comics, including me and a lot of my friends. So my first like big opportunity was doing freelance for the Onion when they moved to Chicago, and now all of a sudden I had a comedy resume. So once I had a comedy resume, that was how I applied to the Colbert Show in New York, and that was, you mentioned the Emmys. That was how I got nominated for an Emmy a few times.
Well,
Yeah,
crazy.
we got
How did that feel, bro? I mean, was it even expected?
I mean, everything is unexpected, because you want it to go well. You set out, you love the work and you want to share it with people.
And you heard
so
you were
bad.
nominated, for example. Did you think, oh, I'll win up against the people you're up against, for example?
I never thought I was going to win. I never thought I was going to win.
Yeah,
But you shouldn't, going into something like that, you shouldn't think like,
Right.
oh, that got this in the bag, I'm going to take home gold. You should feel, I think it's healthy to think like, oh,
Absolutely.
it's so fun that I get to go
Right.
and get to experience this otherworldly night. It's like being inside of the television. So I never thought like, I knew that I would probably be nominated at some point just because it's a big show and
Yeah.
there's only so many of them and we all work really hard on it. But I tried not to have any expectations about anything like that, because it's so out of your control, and if your feelings are tied up in it, you can really get heartbroken.
Hear that? So I want to know something here. This is the crazy part. So you go from this, you do this whole turnaround, going back to your traditional love of comics. But how did you flip this and get into the books, baby? Like, well, what was that turning point?
Well, I was always doing it wasn't so much a turning point as like these two parallel lines, that are kind of like intersecting all the time. Like
Yeah.
before I was at the Colbert Show, I became friends with an editor at Valiant Comics named Alejandro Arbona. He's a great editor and writer in his own right, and just a good friend. And he visited Chicago frequently, and we got drinks, and he was working on Valiant stuff, and he started auditioning me for smaller comic writing jobs. So I would do like comedy page, you talked about skits. I would do basically like a comic skit. I would do like one page in the middle, like a fake ad for something, or like a fake, like a G.I. Joe PSA, for Valiant characters. And it went well enough that then they were like, okay, we're going to give you like a digital Valiant book. And it's like, okay, that went well enough that we're going to give you like a print Valiant book.
Yes.
And then I'm at the time, like social media was still really helpful. I don't know how helpful social media is now, but at the time social media was really helpful. So other editors would see this and be like, oh, do you want to write like a Harley Quinn inventory script just to kind of like test you out? Yeah, it just kept happening like that, like drip by drip by drip by drip. And I was at this really useful intersection of comedy and superhero comics where people are like, okay, well, there's always like a funny book on the shelves. Like there's always a Deadpool, there's always a Harley Quinn, there's always a Quantum and Woody. Like every company has one or two titles that are like the comedy titles. And because I'm starting to have this really good comedy resume, while this is happening, I get the Colbert Show. So the credits all feed each other.
Beautiful.
Be like, oh, I want to hire this guy for my TV show because he also writes comics. I want to hire this guy for comics because he's got a TV credit. So, I mean, I'm not sleeping during this time. I'm like not sleeping. I'm still not sleeping because I'm doing everything the same way and I'm a parent. But it really is just like, what do I love enough to get it finished, and trying to say yes to as many things as possible.
Yeah, man. Yes, like to this bad boy is coming out and dropping real effing soon right here. This bad boy. I mean, you doing your stuff. You're landing comics. You work at Marvel, all that good stuff. Landing those ops, Valiant and all. And now you're touching upon a Disney legendary icon that children loved throughout the 90s. Come on now.
There he is. Yeah. I mean, speaking of comedy and comics, right? I mean, Darkwing Duck was huge for me growing up because of I mentioned like, loving Superman, but also loving the Muppets. When Darkwing Duck dropped, it's like, this is the exact intersection of comedy and superheroes. This is perfect for me. it changed my life. I love Darkwing Duck so much.
Yeah, man, that was a funny motherfucker. And again, like I think about comedy is the sidekick that actually handles the real business.
Yeah. Classic '90s cartoon, right? Yeah, very like Inspector Gadget.
I love it, but he was just an asshole. He was a great character. You actually loved this character. It was something new, something fun. Even I was digging, even though I was, a bigger teenager then, but I would catch it every so often. I said, I kind of think this. So,
well, it's also just it's funny. Like it's funny. Like I think older kids and grown-ups liked it too because it just like it plays with those superhero tropes so well, and it kind of has like some of that like Batman 66, like big ego kind of character stuff to it, and the bad guys like the Rogues Gallery and Darkwing Duck, so strong, just really like up there. It's like Batman, Spider-Man, Darkwing Duck, The Flash, like those are my Rogues Galleries. They're so good.
Yo, bro, I'm so excited. So talk to me about the opportunity when it landed. Like, what happened? What was this discussion like? When did this even happen? Like, I mean, immediately did you say yes? Talk to me. Give me the gossip, bro.
This one was really crazy because I knew that I wanted to write Darkwing Duck comics. I knew that there were Darkwing Duck comics. I didn't really know how many there were, like if they were still coming out at that time. And I saw, I think that maybe like Jeff Parker's Negaduck or something had gotten announced, and I knew the editor, Nate Cosby. I knew the editor a little bit, so I sent him a DM on Twitter and I said, hey, if you ever have like a one shot, if there's ever an opportunity for me to write like a little bit of Darkwing Duck, that would be like a bucket list job for me. That would be a dream job for me. He said, we don't have a one shot, but would you like to do an ongoing?
What?
Yep.
Yo,
it was like
my mind.
And at the time, I was also like really busy, but it was like, yeah, of course, absolutely, yes, a million times yes.
You asked for just a piece of the pie, and they gave you the whole fucking oven and shit.
Correct, exactly.
Yo,
so it's a dream come true. It's just like right place, right.
I'm sorry about that, folks. There's a couple of internet issues, so hopefully then you'll be able to pop right back in. Sorry about that. And there we are. Daniel's right back.
Oh, the way I froze. I came back.
Yeah, man, we froze, but we're back from the internet
from limbo.
There we go, yo. All right, so where we at right there?
Talking about Darkwing. I love him. Comes out in February. It's an ongoing.
Let me present again my slides. There we go. Hey, add to the stage. There we go. All right, back. We got that beautiful cover. All right, back. So it's coming down in February. We were talking about just landing opportunities. So you got slid into the DM. You wanted a short story. That's what you were asking for. So now this dude turns around and says, "Yo, I want to run." Now, from that, did you have really much more ideas than that prior, or like
not going in?
It was just like
not going in. No, I mean I had to sit down and start breaking stories like almost immediately, because the other thing we're doing with this series is that like with most superhero comics, it's like one story is like 4 issues, or one story is like 6 issues. And when you buy your paperback, it's like you get one story told in like 6 parts. That's not what we're doing with this. With Darkwing Duck, we're going like back to the TV show. Every issue is its own story. Every issue is going to be the closest I can get it. And I should say I'm drawing this with Brandt and Stein, with an incredible pencil team. that I fell in love with their work on a book called Crowded, like a near future sci-fi satire series. And they're so good at this physical comedy. That cover is by Tad Stone, the director. I'm sorry, the creator of Darkwing Duck, the father of all of this, who's on board for variant covers.
It's calling this Big Papa right there, Big Papa DD right there.
He really is, yeah. He's Big Papa TT. That's his role. That's his role in my life now.
Yeah, Big Papa DD.
So yeah, we're just trying to make it feel as much like watching Darkwing Duck as possible. That cover is by Mark Bagley, one of my favorite. Speaking of being a '90s kid, one of my favorite Spider-Man artists, and then Ultimate Spider-Man artist.
Heck yeah, bro.
The idea of a Mark Bagley Darkwing Duck cover, I didn't even know that was possible. Yeah, we lost our minds. Nate, the editor, emailed me about this, and he was just like, "You want to geek out with me for a second?"
Oh man, you guys must have been screaming. I said, I would have been fanboying, or rather fangirling at that moment. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and it is legendary. Look at that shit right there. What?
It's unreal. Everybody's bringing their A game. That's Brandon. That's our A cover. That's Brandon Stein. So you can see that's going to be, those will be the models for the interiors.
Nice, man.
And yeah, they just get it. They just really get it. The comedy and the physical acting and the look of joy on Goslin's face on this cover.
Oh.
They really, really get it. So.
And in typical Darkwing fashion, he's the one that's getting it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's he's a little overconfident.
Yeah, he's a magnet for this type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but this is gangster. I like that. He looks fly. This is a T-shirt right here. I want this on a T-shirt.
Those are so gorgeous. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna, hopefully they send me comps of all of these because I want as many covers as possible.
You should get them all. You crazy? This you got to tell Big Papa DD right there to say, hey, yo, get them the books.
Yep. Yeah. It's Christmas morning.
And just the teaser, the interior, and the colors. I mean, look how beautiful, yo.
It's so gorgeous. So this is page 1, free of dialogue, free of captions. This is our page 1, and it says it all. That's our mission. That's our mission statements. Like, we want it to feel like the show. Like, it's comedy, but it's pulp, it's noir, it's superhero action, it's crazy villains.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this action scene right there. Look at those. Yeah. Look at my man Papa.
These have some of my favorite jokes happen immediately after this. So, everybody consider this a tease.
Yeah, folks. I mean, in shops, we thought January is actually ignore that.
I think it's February. I think it's February. But the important thing is just call your shop. Yeah, ask for it now, and whenever it comes out, they'll be ready for you.
On Dynamite, it's Disney. You guys got to go there and check that out like ASAP. That's what it is at in shops. All right, show that love, like you're a D man. Like, so what's the anticipated length of the run? At least the stories you have thus far. How many issues we get from you?
I don't want to say, but it's a lot. I don't want to say, but it's a good. I'm gonna be because it might be more. If people buy it, then it might be even more. So, but we're committed to.
They say if people will
when people buy it.
When? Because this is listen, yo, who's not gonna love this? This is the comic book stuff that we do need. Is that humor, that fun, that nostalgia, and especially with a title like Darkwing. I mean, I love all this stuff. So I'm really gonna add this to my pull list. I
really appreciate that.
I'm interested in this.
Yeah, and I think nostalgia is also key because so much of what we do when we buy comic books is obviously there's great new things coming out constantly, but I think the backbone of people's pull lists are still largely characters that they grew up with. So nostalgia is such an important component.
Look at Skybound, for example, right?
Sorry, like who?
Like Skybound, they're murdering the game right now with
G.I. Yeah, exactly that kind of, and Dynamite also with like Thundercats and Space
Dynamite with all the Disney Space Coast, the Hanna-Barbera stuff. I just spoke to Tom. And we're talking about humanoids. The humanoids.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. Yeah, I cannot wait to see what that looks like when it's a comic book. Because that, speaking of shows that I got up at 5:30 in the morning to watch, before cable, before on demand, when I was a little kid, it just it was all whatever was in syndication, and that meant a lot of 60s Hanna-Barbera, like.
Well, I used to wake up in New York as a teenager at 6 a.m. to watch Robotech Macross at
Yep,
6 a.m.
exactly. Back when you couldn't
My
control.
mom was like, "Why are you up so early?" I said, "I gotta watch this."
It's because the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Like, they said part 2 the next day.
Yeah, man.
Couldn't miss it.
You
How it was.
used to be in
Hey,
control.
we really had to fucking wait. Listen, folks, you kids are so spoiled.
It's insane. It's so different. It's so different that my child can just watch. She can watch whatever she wants, whenever she wants. It's like, no, I used to get up at 6:30 to watch an animated cartoon about King Kong that I didn't even like. It was just on.
Yeah. Oh, wait a week between episodes of sitcoms.
Right.
A week. You didn't even know what's going on. Oh my god, next Monday. Oh my god.
Yeah, unreal.
At least it felt like a treat when I was spoiled. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what's
a lot of it's nostalgia.
Are we gonna get a Darkwing Duck cartoon too? Would you love to do that? Like bring these stories you bring into comics into animated life?
So the short answer is I would love to do that. Like, I work in animation. I know people who work for Disney Animation, and I know that the Darkwing Duck appearance on DuckTales was originally imagined to be maybe a trial balloon, or maybe a backdoor pilot for what a new Darkwing Duck show would look like. So I know people are trying to do it. If anybody's listening and wants to talk to me about it, I definitely have the resume.
Once they check out these combos, they're gonna know that they're talking to the right man. Like, this is what we need.
I'd be lying if I said that was not part of it. But again, it's like you were saying with the Emmys. It's really about what you can control and just doing the best work that you can in the space that you're currently in. So all I'm focusing on is making these the best possible Darkwing Duck comics that they can possibly be. But down the road, if this comes back as a TV show, obviously it'd be a dream to be involved.
Oh, well, I dig it. So what's popping? I know we're at the end of the year, it's a holiday time, and do you have anything planned convention-wise for next year where we could, see you, get some signed books, hang out?
I'm gonna try San Diego. I'm gonna try New York.
New York, bro, please.
I would love to. I had a really good. Yeah, I did last year, this past year. I did San Diego for the first time. I did New York for the first time. I didn't table at either of those, but if you see me, wave me down and we'll talk. We'll hang out. But yeah, hopefully I'm gonna do San Diego and New York. And other than that, I just live in LA, so maybe if there's some local stuff going on, I could try that. But in terms of other stuff going on, 2 holiday specials out right now. I've got Marvel Holiday Tales to Astonish. I have a Kitty Pryde Hanukkah story.
So right, because over here, let me share that screen because I got your website. When we were blank for a minute, and I'm so sorry about that, guys.
Oh, it's okay. It's all good.
It's webs, it's the crap that happens when we live. It's wonderful. But there you go. You go to the website that I've been showing off.
That's me. I got that Nintendo font going on.
Yeah, I love it though. But right there, you're talking about that Marvel Holiday Tales to Astonish and Dynamite Powerpuff. Oh damn, dude! 2 different type of genres, type of things.
Yep.
Oh, your mind is all over. I love it. How do you differentiate between the 2 different types of stories and characters?
It's just it's really interesting because I talk about this so much. I've spent so much time with these characters as a fan that you end up really internalizing their voices. So when you sit down to write them, if you've spent your whole life kind of hanging out with them, it comes really naturally. You're just hanging out with your friends, basically. You just know what they sound like when you put them in different situations and different combinations with each other. So for the X-Men one, I just wanted it takes place in the 80s. It's Kitty's first Hanukkah with the X-Men. And I just wanted it to sound as much like Chris Claremont and John Byrne comics as humanly possible. It's just a love song to that era of the X-Men, of comic book writing, and of the character Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
And then with the Powerpuff Girls, I just love Powerpuff Girls. You know, I think it's one of the best shows and best ideas for a show ever. And I watched a lot of it. I mean, by the time Powerpuff Girls was airing, I was probably like closer to teens, you know, like maybe mid-teens. So I was able to get all the, you know, like the risque jokes and things, you know, that they used to sneak in there on Cartoon Network back in the day. So
you love that, like
they were.
You're like, yo, that's kind of effed up. Like you're
a little grown up, yeah, a little adult. So yeah, I love spending time with these. I love spending time with these characters, and I love the holidays. You know, I think that holiday stories are so like inherently novel, and they're just whenever I write a holiday story, I kind of feel like I'm playing with cheat codes, because you get all of this like feeling and emotion and imagery and stuff that you get to do to use, like not just the tropes of like the superhero genre, but like the tropes of a holiday special. You know, you get so much ammunition in terms of what what the audience expects of this, and how you get to use that or subvert it.
Let me just say though that this mother effer right here is terrifying.
I love him. I don't think he's actually in the comic. I think it's just the cover.
Yeah, bro. This is a terrifying looking snowman.
I love it. Doctor Strange is at the center, and that makes me feel like it must be like a snowman from the dark dimension.
Oh, even worse. Thank you. Yeah. A dark snowman, yo.
Yeah.
You fucking around me, might not stop it, bro. Please.
Yeah, he's like like Dormammu's Frosty or something like that.
Oh shit.
But yeah, that's a
Frosty
cover.
Marmot. There we go, Frosty Marmot. That's who it is. The King of Frost.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say from the Frost dimension, but I think that's Jotunheim. That's Loki.
Yeah,
type
right?
stuff.
Yeah.
And there's our girls.
Yeah, man. I got it.
So Blossom, Buttercup, and Bubbles, and this one is all about them trying to find the perfect Christmas present for Professor Utonium. So it's three. They split off, and then it's three solo stories that come back together at the end.
Yeah.
And this is a spoiler, but they obviously meet Santa, because they're little girls and it's Christmas time and it's their holiday special. So of course they meet Santa.
Okay, there we go. In Chicago, did you ever try sliding down a tree like that?
I never slid down on a Christmas tree, but it looks really fun. It looks really fun. No, I mean, I spent plenty of my childhood in snow, but no, I never went sledding on an actual Christmas tree.
Yeah. But bro, man, I'm digging everything you're doing. Bless as the creator, man. You are rocking it, killing it. I'm excited to see this Darkwing Duck, man.
That means a lot to me. It feels good. It feels good every time I finish one. It just feels right, and I care about this stuff so much, and I want it to show on the page and just let people who are reading know, like, you're a big fan, I'm a big fan. Like, let's bring this back.
Yeah, but I'm digging it. Now, once you bring in Darkwing Duck, can you tease? Is there any other like parts of the of that universe that you want to bring in, and maybe even do a separate run on? There's anything you want to kind of do a one shot on? Any particular character outside of him?
So when you're dealing with licenses and dealing with Disney in particular, there's a lot of rules about what you can and cannot, what you can and cannot cross over with. But like from the Disney afternoon kind of world, I think it'd be really funny to do something with gummy bears. You know, I was born in 1983, so Gummy Bears was one of my first cartoons, and Gummy Bears is so weird. Gummy Bears is one of the weirdest shows ever. And that theme song, I mean, Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, like all the theme songs are really good, but the Gummy Bears theme song is awesome.
You need to do a Gummy Bears horror book. That's what you need to do.
That'd be great. Yeah. You could do like a Gummy Bears Beneath the Trees.
You crossover. You're their gummies and shit. Human gummy.
Or you could do like a grown up, because gummies doesn't mean what it used to mean. You know, now when people say gummies, it's usually grown up stuff. So you could do like a psychedelic, gummy bears.
Oh my goodness, bro, that would be insane. Yeah, psychedelic gummies. Man. Listen, let's not get way too much to the story, Daniel.
Yeah. We'll stop at that because this might happen. This might happen. So we'll stop writing for free.
Yeah, there we go. But you Robert, I love your energy. I'm excited for Darkwing Duck. I'm excited for the rest of the Kibblesmith first, baby. Because again, you've been murdering it. And folks, I've been showing it off. You can follow my homie right here on Instagram at Daniel.Kibblesmith, all right? Then you go to the webpage, easy peasy, Kibblesmith, all right? And I'll be looking for his rap album soon, maybe 2026. Kibblesmith.
Yeah, I think I need a year for sure. I have to take some lessons.
I don't know what to say, right? But of course, most importantly, you gotta check out Darkwing Duck. All right, it's gonna be popping off in the shops in February 2025. So go to your local shop right now. Tell them you want all those covers. You saw what I showed you. Let me mess around. That's what we need. All right, so show the love to my big homie, to Dynamite Entertainment. Follow everything at dynamite.com, because they got dope books, fire books. So, I mean, I'm telling you, they got a legendary lineup of stuff.
It's like a golden age for them right now. It's really insane.
Hannah stuff, Disney, and they got other cool stuff in licenses that you wouldn't believe. So, I mean, you just check them out as a fan. Yeah, definitely, they have something for you all over the place. So, for real, D, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. To my fellow Crusaders, sorry for the interruption, but again, thank you for coming right back on and tuning in and listening to the wordsmith right here, Mr. Kibblesmith. All right,
That's what they call me.
He's loving this. Yeah, I can't wait to see the album. I see you right now, like this. I went to the gold chain. Yo, Kibblesmith the wordsmith. I'm telling you, bro, that's the hip hop name. We gotta see MTV do one of those.
Look for my SoundCloud. Look for my mixtape. All of this is definitely going to be real. There's no way.
I gotta do this. All right, mi gente, this Comic Cruz, Omega is the Kibblesmith. Hasta la próxima.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.